everybody, it's Christine Bertram, and I am coming to you live from the Hive on Monday, August 15th. And we are a little bit earlier than normal on a weeknight class. Normally I would have it at 6, but nothing like fitting a lot into one night. We actually have dinner plans. We're celebrating a birthday tonight. And so we invited a couple friends over and we're making dinner for them. So I was like, whew, got to get everything locked and loaded and ready to go before we go live so that as soon as I'm done with my live with you guys, I can finish sauteing mushrooms, sauteing the onions. Tyler is going to be grilling out some steak. Hi, Lisa. And we have Brussels sprouts that we're making, and thank goodness. Hey, oh, there we are. Thank goodness. Hi, Barb Johnson. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Penny Powell. Thank goodness our friends aren't coming over till 6:30, so that gives us that half-hour buffer to really get our stuff together. Hi, Anna Rebadou. Hi, Shirley Malarkey. Hi, Kathy Beck and Sherry Martin. Hi, Debbie. So Tyler got done with work a little bit early. Hi, Jamie. And he just got here right before I went live. Hi, Chris Duderenke and Jamie Shipman and Christina and Kate Pape. Penny Powell. I think I said hi to you already. Hi, Deborah Butt. Sounds like an awesome dinner. Yes. Hi, Linda Hall. Hi, Barb Collins. Hi, Carrie and Francis. My mom told me how to make the au jus. The last time we cooked meat, we had what Tyler called it poor man's au jus. Basically, the juice that came out of the steak is what we used for our juice. But my mom gave me the guidance on how to do the Lipton onion soup mix. Hi, Donna Simmer. Oh, so hi, Pat Piscopio. Hi, Donna Simmer. Hi, Darlazelle. So my mind is in the middle of potatoes that are cooking in the oven. Hi, Millie. Hi, Lottie. So new. Lottie's new. Woohoo. Hi. Everybody's rocking and rolling. Forgot you said earlier tonight. Yes. So normally, you guys, I would have been live at 6. Hi, Kathy King. But with our friends coming over at 6:30. Hi, Sue Somerville. I told Tyler I would do a little switcherooing of the schedule and go a little bit earlier. So hi, Paula Rice. So I know that this might not work for everybody because that's a little earlier. But hi, Susan from California. But this way, the replay is always available. So welcome to everybody who is here watching me live for Mystery Card Night. Woohoo! I bet you guys saw the measurements and you're like, this is going to be an easy card. I wonder what's so special about this. Hi, Laura Wigan. But hi, Amy Smith from Ohio. I have a little trick up my sleeve for that designer series paper. Sherry from Livonia, Michigan. Your craft room is a mess because of construction. Hey, that's understandable. Sherry, I'm curious. Do you know Becky Gandolfo? Becky is also from Livonia, Michigan. Hi, Dolores and Linda Hodge. Oh my gosh, you guys, we have our first spammer. Okay, you can see it right there. So eat Ibron. Bad news bears. Do not click on that link at all. We are going to report him really quickly and tell him he cannot be on our page. So I'm submitting that. So do not click on that, you guys. He is a scammer. We get those from time to time. And you should not click on that. And I don't know if I have the ability. Hi, Gina. Hi, Beverly Smith. Hi, Julie Poindexter. You guys, he is going crazy in here right now. I'm going to show you what it looks like right here, this So Eat I brand. Do not click on that, you guys. I have no idea what he is doing in here, but I try to submit spam for him. So I'm going to block and get rid of him as much as I can, okay? So hopefully you guys don't see that, but just know, do not ever click on anything that looks like somebody who is not normally a normal person, I guess. Like, to me, he's not normally in my group. He doesn't look like any one of us. Not that because he's a guy, right? But because his name is weird and he's doing weird stuff, okay? So we've been very fortunate for like the last 6 months to 3/4 of a year. We have not had any spammers like that in my lives. I mean, every now and then we get a weird one, but in Mystery Card Night, in the very, very beginning, we used to. Hi, Chris. Hi, Cindy Rentry. Hi, Debbie. Yes, 4 times. So just put it out there, you guys. Do not click on that, whatever he has there. You saw, I tried to report it, and hopefully it just disappears out of here. But if you're watching the replay, also do not click on it. So We're going to just kind of ignore him. He is clickbait. He is spam. He wants to do bad things to us. So he will mess us up. So don't click on it. Hi, Karen Wetstein and Sarah New. Woohoo! Doing that pound. Yeah. Well, I don't know why. You know what? I always say when people do that kind of stuff, I said to myself, why don't they just find something more productive to do with their times than waste our time? Hi, Lynn Beasley. I have talked to a few of my friends who have accidentally clicked on that kind of stuff, and boy, does it mess up stuff. Hi, Pauline. And so the last thing I want is anybody clicking on that kind of stuff and it causing problems. But enough on that. Hi, Hildy. I didn't have time for him tonight in my Facebook Live, you guys. Like, good riddance to him. So we're doing, like I said, mystery card night. And we have a cool card for you guys. Even though it doesn't seem like it's cool, it's going to be a little bit different. And if you think you're all done cutting for tonight, you're not. You will need your paper trimmers or your cutter, whatever you use for cutting. And I'm going to show you a couple different things that we're going to do different with this designer series paper. Hi, Becky Christensen. Hi, Mary Lou Voss. I'm frozen. I don't think I'm frozen for myself. Hi, Melody Miller. I am watching right along with you guys. So you might just want to check your internet or check if you could get, hi Lisa Spacek. I am not frozen. I don't know if anybody else is frozen, but it looks good to me. Hi Vicki Tillett. So if you're frozen, I always recommend going out, coming back in. Maybe don't watch the comments. People always have different advices for you to follow if you're getting frozen. Hi Becky Schlossnagel. Donna's not frozen. Hildy says she's not frozen. So whenever it's frozen for only one person, I hate to say it, but it's usually that person's phone or whatever device they're on that's the internet is slow. So, okay. So the first thing we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to go through, well, we're going to tell you a little bit about tonight. I know some of you are new. So I love it when you do a thumbs up if you're new. And if you've been here a time or two, just give me the heart. I like to see where I'm at with people. I have a great community of people who have been watching me do Mystery Card Night for a long time. I'm going on over 2 years. It was May of 2020, the first time I did a Mystery Card Night. And we've been doing them ever since. And so if there are ever any newbies out here, this is going to be a watch that assemble card. Yes, that works out good, Penny. So this, oh, look at them all come in. Okay, lots of hearts. So those hearts that are out there, I asked you to help me because I don't always see comments come through, especially for, oh, there's another penny. Woohoo! 2 pennies. Especially for those that are new. Sometimes if you're new, you don't always understand what's going on or have questions. And if you comment what your question is specifically, sometimes I don't understand it. So the more specific you can be, if I don't catch it, one of the gals watching can also help answer the question. And it was so fun. Yes, the main object for you guys is to have fun. This is your night, your hour away, and forget about all the worries and woes and crazinesses of the world, and think about your card that you've got in front of you. Think about what you're going to do with that card. Are you going to save it and treasure it forever, put it up on your mantle, or are you going to share it with somebody and spread the love? Hopefully, you're going to make another one eventually, and then you can always, if you're the type that likes to hold on to your cards, so you always have some samples or ideas. If you're in like a creative block, then you have samples. Hi, Trinket Troy. Thanks so much. Hi, Anna says, love mystery stamping. Woohoo! That's awesome. We love our mystery stamping. It's for you guys to have fun. Treasure the card or give it away, whatever you want. The other thing too is I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I love Stampin' Up! Products, and that's what I sell and promote. But just know that this is your card. You're using your own supplies and you can use whatever you want to. It does not have to be Stampin' Up! It doesn't have to be whatever the other brands are. It can be whatever you want. You can mix and match. They are great card layouts to use forever. Yes, and we try to, thanks Kathy King, and we try to do layouts that are easily reproducible, right? Not so crazy that it's intimidating or you are like, yep, I'm good. I don't ever need to do this one again. We love these layouts to be, yeah, this was so awesome. I can see doing this again with this paper or with this stamp set. Hi, Carla Lake from Kentucky. So remember to have fun. Do not be overwhelmed, especially for those that are new. What I'm going to do is go through all the clues with you. And by the end, you may be close to being done with your card. You might be done with your card or you might not be. either way, don't feel overwhelmed. You do not have to be done with your card by the time we're done with the last clue. The main thing is that you know what you need to do to finish your card. And then I'm going to tell you what you need to do by taking, hi Rory from upstate New York, you take a picture of your card, and everybody who submits their card, and you can submit multiple times. I just take your name only once, but we love to see the ideas and the products that you use, and just see how like everybody starts out with the same instructions, but everybody's cards look different because you're using different colors and different paper. It's so fun. Hi Arliss. So those are just some helpful hints. Hi Diana Knapp from Kingston, North Carolina. I almost thought for a second it said Deanne, and I'm like, wow, another Deanne too. Hi, oh, and there's Deanne Estelle watching. There she is. Hi, Sandy Wicklander. Hi, Karen Ann. So, what else do I need to tell you guys? Have fun. Don't feel overwhelmed. Oh, the replay. You guys, as soon as I hit the end button, the replay will be available in Facebook. I don't think I will get to upload it into YouTube tonight, but by tomorrow morning, I'll upload it into YouTube. So you can always catch the replay on Facebook or YouTube. They're in the video section of my Cards by Christine Facebook page. So what a lot of people do, and I believe it was Penny that said this, is that she's going to watch tonight just to see how it comes together, and then what she's going to do is put the card together later. So, and that might partly be because we're going to be doing some extra stuff to the designer series paper, and sometimes it's good to watch it and get some ideas before you put the card together. So hi Sharon Land. So I don't know what else is going on. Hi Mary Jean from Bay City, Michigan. Woo woo. So what we're going to do first is go over clue number 1, and clue number 1 is always, let's recap what paper we need to have just to make sure that you guys have the right paper going into putting the card together. Hi, Yolanda. So, are we ready, you guys? Oh, man. I have my card in front of me, and it's not in your peripheral vision. It's so funny. Every now and then I accidentally have a corner of the card in the camera, and then you guys can see it sometimes. But, all right, we'll catch you later, Yolanda. Okay. I think that's it. We're going to go on to clue number 1. All right. We're going to flip down. And you guys, if you are new to me too, take note of my information. My Facebook page is Cards by Christine. I have an email address here, my telephone number, and my website. So this is always my information, and I have my current host code there. Hi, Julie Frost. Diana says, I'd love to make the card with you, but I need to clear an area first. You know, I will tell you, being organized and having a spot to work is half the battle. Because if you don't have that, you feel like you need to make that happen before you start crafting. And so if you guys would see my desk right now, you'd be like, where does she even have a space to craft? I have like about a 4x4 section, and everything else is just like a crafter math from designing. So yes. All right, you guys. Right here we have is clue number 1. This is what I shared with you in the event on my website, in Facebook. These are all the pieces that we should have together. Hi, Lorna from Lambertville, Michigan. Woo, woo. So let's start with our white and vanilla. For those that are new to me too, I do use some acronyms. So like, let's scroll in just ever so slightly here. Tall equals T, W equals wide. I also go by white and vanilla with the WV. The reason I say white or vanilla is because, hi, Shireen Moodley, woo woo, from South Africa. So white and vanilla, like if you're doing more cool undertones, hi, Sherry, do whites. And if you have more warms and neutrals, I do vanilla. So I don't generally mix my whites and vanillas, but so I put it on here so that you know it's either white or vanilla. And if you didn't guess it, you have one piece, and it is for your inside. So it's 5 1/4. Hi, Mary Lou Moss. 5 1/4 by 4. I am holding this horizontally. At this moment, you might not know. Hi, Melissa from Massachusetts. Whoop, whoop. At this point, you might not know, well, which direction does the card go? But when we get down here to our pattern paper, hi, Cindy Miller, you'll see that we are a horizontal card. So there's your first clue as well. 5 1/4 by 4, basic white or vanilla. Hi, Linda Kester. All right, so that's our first piece. Now we have some coordinating cardstock. 2 pieces. Now, if you want to, you could have these be 2 different complementary colors. I I actually, I have mine the same. So I have them the same, but if you think yours would look good with having two different colors, you can. But just know here, coordinating cardstock, we have two pieces. So I always put in parentheses how many of each one. So two pieces. And this is the card base right here. So the card base is your 8.5 by 5.5. And I have it scored at 4.25, which is the center. Scored at 4.25 on the 8.5-inch side. Then you should have another piece that is 3.25 by 2.25. So here's a little baby mat. Now there is oh man, hang on. We may have forgotten one piece of paper. I just realized it right now. Yeah, so you guys, this is why, Joanna, hi Joanna, this is why it's, we go through this together. So you guys can cut another piece if necessary as well, okay? Because I'm like, shoot, we have one more piece here, but I don't think I have it listed here. So this is why this is gonna be optional for you guys. So this one, I'm gonna hold off on saying this one at the moment. So we have here your base, and we have a little baby mat. And then we have a coordinating pattern paper 1 and 2. Now, you want these to be kind of complementary so that they accent each other, not conflict with each other, right? So I have two pieces listed. And so one of them is 5 inches wide by 3.75 tall. So that makes it 5 inches wide by 3.75 tall. This is the piece that we need to MacGyver a little bit to give it the look that is awesome about this card. So this is a coordinating pattern paper, all right? And then you have a pattern paper here, another one. So it's actually pattern paper 2. It's 2 inches by 3 inches. So 3 inches wide by 2 inches tall. If you're not guessing, maybe you'll guess now that this is just a mat for this guy. Okay, so the other thing besides this, we'll talk about this in a hot second here, but you need some scraps, you guys, because I'm going to give you a really cool, awesome base and like card front minus what you end up doing to decorate it. And that's why I have here scraps of paper in white and vanilla, whichever you have for your kind of undertone for your card. And then your coordinating cardstock, you need some scraps. And then what kind of stamps you want? Do you want focal images that are, they're gonna be generally smaller versus huge. And then sentiments of varying sizes. So let's go back to the paper, you guys. This is what I forgot to tell you. And maybe I honestly think there's a reason I forgot to tell you. I always believe that there's a reason for everything. And I didn't tell you about this piece. Maybe what's in my head is because you could pick what color of coordinating cardstock you want it to be. So I would, so like let's say your base is this color, right? Coordinating cardstock. And then let's say this is this color. So pretend these are both gray, right? I use scrap paper because you guys, I don't like to sway you one way or another with what my card looks like for what yours is going to turn out. Hi, Carissa. So you need another coordinating cardstock, okay? So this, I would say, should be a different color from these two, okay? Because ultimately you have your base and then you have a mat. Then you're gonna have your pattern paper and then you're gonna have the same color as your base and then another complementary DSP or coordinating pattern paper. So if you guys didn't catch that, what we need to do, hi Christy Warren, we are just getting started. We're just going over the pieces. And so what we're telling you guys is we need a coordinating cardstock 2 that is 5.25 by 4. So figure out what color would look good mixed in with everything. And I'll be honest, I have crumb cake and espresso that really are going for my coordinating colors. And so this is, you've got a little time to figure this out, because we're going to work on the pattern paper next. But hi, Kathy from Alabama. I think that's A-L, unless it's A-I. So think about this, you guys. I don't mean to throw everybody off, and maybe this is your first one, but just know that we do need another coordinating cardstock. And then, you guys, we're going to need some inks, markers, colored pencils, for coloring anything, ribbon or linen thread, embellishments, scissors, adhesives of choice, to get our card going. Okay, so hope that all kind of makes sense. We just needed one extra piece of coordinating cardstock. It's acting as a mat for our designer series paper. Hi, Elizabeth from Georgia. So I need, for those of you that are working with me, and if you're ready, because some of you guys aren't making cards and some of you are, I guess what I need to know is give me some thumbs ups, give me some hearts. Those are what I look for cues to make sure I can go on to clue number 2. I hate to go too fast. I hate to go too slow. I like to go just right. And so what we're going to do is move on to clue 2. As soon as I start to see those thumbs ups, I see some hearts. Hi, Pat Butts, coming through, and I'm starting to see the thumbs ups come through. So we're going to go on to clue 2, because for the most part, clue 1 should have been basically having all those pieces, keeping in mind we need one more mat, and you might not know what color it is. Maybe you know what color it is, but you might put it together as soon as we start to see the layout of the card. So we are going to flip our clue from 1 to 2. Okay, this wasn't an easy one, you guys. So fold the 8.5 by 5.5 coordinating cardstock on the score line and burnish it with a bone folder. So that's really easy, you guys. This is going to be probably your easiest clue for the night. Oh, besides embellishing and stellaing. But so you have that score line, and that helps to basically take your card base, you fold it in half on that score line. And what do we mean by burnish? It means taking something. I always use a bone folder, and it gives it, so like right now it's got like it's not really crisp and a nice edge. So when you take the bone folder, I hold down the 2 sides that are open, or like the 2 open edges there, and I then hold it while I burnish it. And I do know some people that take their glue bottles and do this. I know some people that take the edges of their scissors and do it. Ultimately, when you burnish it though, it gives you this nice crisp edge, okay? So that's it, you guys. That's clue number 1. Where did we put the white piece? We're not there yet, Sharon. The white piece is gonna be towards the end of the clue. So this is what we're doing now, is just going through all these pieces, should still be kind of sitting off to the side. And at the moment, all we did is do clue number 2, which is taking it, folding it. You're basically creating, this is called a card base, you guys. And we did talk about that this is a horizontal card. So I would suggest leaving it horizontal so that it helps you remember that we're not doing a vertical card like this. So as you guys are good with burnishing and folding your card base, please give me those hearts, give me those thumbs up so I know that it's okay for me to continue. And what we'll do is we'll keep going to clue number 3. And Sharon, by the end, we'll get to this last white vanilla piece. It'll be one of the very last things that we're gonna talk about, actually. So, all right. So, clue number 2, which was your easiest, there it is. I see all the hearts coming through. You guys, just so you know, you probably are about 10 to 15 seconds behind me. It's because of this delay that I have with live streaming. So I have to be very patient and watch for those hearts and thumbs ups to come through so I don't go too fast for you. So we're gonna go to clue number 3. Clue number 3 is gonna be what you guys, I hope, will love about this layout. It's something that is different. I've done it in a class in the past, probably last November is when I remembered when I did it last. But I thought I would bring this one back and share this with you. So this is gonna be fun. You're gonna need to grab your paper trimmers though, because we are going to be cutting our designer series paper. And I'm gonna do it a couple times so that you guys don't miss it. So if you're just listening and not watching, this would be a good time to watch. All right, so we're gonna flip to clue number 3. Okay, so set your things off to the side, and what we're working with right now is the 5 inches wide by 3 3/4 inch tall patterned paper. So grab that. So this orange piece to me is that pattern paper. So pretend it's a pretty little pattern, right? That is like designer series paper or pattern paper. We're gonna cut it diagonally both ways, meaning you're gonna cut it diagonally this way, and then you're gonna cut it diagonally this way, okay? So don't worry about the next step, but because I'm gonna cut it with you just to show you. And you guys, I'm using my scrap paper. Again, I don't make my card with you. My card is already made, but there is a trick to this. And Carissa Alberts taught me this trick, and I wanted to share it with you. And that's why I didn't tell you as part of your clue 1, I didn't tell you to do this stuff because I wanted to share with you how to do this in case you haven't done it before. So let's go look at it one more time. Hi, Jennifer Jones. It says cut the 5 inches by 3 3/4 pattern paper diagonally both ways. So we're gonna cut it diagonally here to here and here to here. But the little trick, you guys, is to not cut it all the way. You cut it until about maybe 1/4 of an inch. And by doing that, it allows the paper to stay together while you cut the other diagonal. Watch me, I'll show you what I mean. So what you want to do is get your track, oh, I got something in there. Get your track lined up so that like here's where my cutter is going to cut. I want my corner right there. Then you need to make sure your other corner is in the same track, right? Doesn't matter which one you do first because we're going to be doing both of them. And the main thing is that we don't want to cut maybe this last 1/4 inch, okay? Oh, that orange paper looks really bright. So what I'm going to do is, so I don't cut that, I've got my trimmer. You can see there's a little bit of orange right there. So that means I'm not cutting it all. And I'm going to start there and cut up, okay? The main thing you guys want to make sure you do is you cut from corner to corner. And again, I did not cut this last little bit because now my piece of paper is still held together so that it's easier to cut on the second one. Hi, Gwen Petrashek. So now what you're going to do is cut it diagonally the other way. So put your little corner right where the blade is going to be. Put your other corner where the blade's going to be. And then I always go back and make sure that my first one didn't move. Because normally what happens is you get the first one lined up, you line up the second, and then the first one moves on you. So you always got to do like, you know, when you're crossing the road, left, right, left, check, 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 okay? And because this corner isn't cut here, it allows me to hold this loose end, and then the other end stays together because it's not cut right here. So I'm going to now trim the other way diagonally. So go up and down, okay? The reason I went partially already in is because sometimes if I'm cutting on my corner and I push it down, it jams that corner and makes it get rumply. So I will start about a little bit in, go up, and then I'll come down. All right, so this is what we have, you guys. We have a top triangle, a side triangle, and these two are connected yet. You want to keep them in the right order because if you accidentally switch your triangles around, the pattern won't be consistent. So now that you have your diagonal, hi Brenda, Shooty. Now that you have your other one cut diagonally, now I'm gonna take this, use my scissors, just finish off to the corner, make sure that I flip it back this way, and now this is what I have, you guys. I have 4 triangles, okay? So, should we do that one more time? I just want, like, I don't know if that was a good enough explanation or if I should do it one more time. So, I think I'll do it one more time, just because. And I have a piece of green paper here. So let's move this. Again, we needed 5 by 3 3/4. And that was our starting size. And we're going to flip these off to the side. Remember, lining up the corner to corner, not cutting off the bottom edge. flip it. Nope, good enough. Okay, I'm doing it one more time, Cindy, and I'll do it really fast. So I want to make sure corner to corner is lined up. On my trimmer like this, I go up and then I go down. Perfect, okay? Now, when you have this, just take your scissors, go to the corner. All right, so that's not the end of the clue though. So that's just the part to help you guys. And remember, keep your triangles in the right order, okay? So now you've got this really cool piece of designer paper and you've got triangles. So let's go back to our clue here and let's see what the next step is on our clue. It says here, adhere the 4 triangles to the coordinating cardstock mat. Keep them lined up. That means keep them in their pattern area. Now, this is where I did not, so this is where you need your extra coordinating cardstock. So hopefully I've bought you guys enough time to figure out, well, what color would look really good. Okay, we're not doing that yet, but what color would look good, right? So here's my trick for adhering this. So you need a 5 1/4 by 4, and we're gonna glue our triangles on. So I would do, I don't know what it is, but I like to do these 2 longer, skinnier ones first. And you're not gonna have a lot of wiggle room. You have to get it so that it's about a 1/16 of an inch. And I'm gonna show you a close-up of this in a second. So you might just place them on your mat first just to see how close they need to be. But it is about a 1/16 of an inch on the top and a 1/16 on the bottom. All right, so then what I will do is flip these 2 over, and you see I use scrap paper for this. So then I would put this guy down next and then this one. And what happens is you should have about the same distance for all of them. And it just creates a different, unique mat. Like, yes, you could have left it at 5 by 3 3/4 and not put the diagonal, but I think the diagonal just gives it more of a quilt like look. It's kind of cool. So you just have that about 1/16 of an inch all the way on everyone. Hi, Mary Ellen from Montana. Okay, so that was the next part of that clue. If you put these too close in, like too far in, you're going to end up with a bigger border around the edges and less border through this X that's right here. Okay, so that bright, I'm like looking at this, you guys, it's such a bright orange piece of paper. Wowzers. Okay, so let's get back to our clue because we're still on clue number 3. So we cut that diagonally. We adhered the 4 triangles to the coordinating cardstock. And again, this was the mat that I forgot to write down in clue number 1, but now you can kind of see what's going on. Now, the next step here is adhere this layer to the card front. Oh, thanks for sharing, Diana. I appreciate it. So adhere this to our card front, okay? So it's clue number 3. It was a whole bunch of steps. There was 3 different things, and ultimately it gives us this really cool card front, okay? So what you can do is put some adhesive on the back of your 5 1/4 by 4 inch mat and adhere that onto your card base. All right, so our card is starting to come together. I bet you guys are I cannot wait to see all your different designer papers cut at those triangle patterns. It just gives it a different look. It's not too hard. You guys saw how easy it was to cut it diagonally, but it just gives it a different look. So what I need from you guys to do is let me know how you're doing with gluing all these together and getting this onto your card base. Because clue 3 should have you at the point where you have your triangles glued on. Yeah, Carissa, you love this layout. I know. This was from Painted Christmas, the sweet class from November. Carissa, this was Carissa's idea from that class. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I have to bring this out and share it with you guys again. So I see lots of thumbs ups. So ultimately, you guys should have your mat here now adhered onto your card base. So these are extra triangles, so I'm gonna get them out of the way so they're not confusing to people. And ultimately, we don't have a lot of paper left, right? We have a few pieces and your scraps. So I did see a bunch of thumbs ups come through. Again, if you're new and you haven't, like, if you're not quite at the point where you're like, oh, I'm not ready, just know that I'll continue, and you can always catch back. Just if anybody ever needs to get back to the replay, I always say, look at what minutes you're on right now, and you can always fast forward to that so you don't have to watch everything from the beginning. So, but we're gonna mosey on over to clue number 4, okay? So let's flip this down. Yes, Penny Powell, you remember that class? Yes, it was such a fun one. Okay, so now we're gonna work on these little guys over here. You're gonna adhere the 3-inch wide by 2-inch tall pattern paper to the coordinating 3 1/4 by 2 1/4 pattern paper. Okay, so ultimately, let's just do a little bit of gluesies on this one and put that on here. And so that's the first section, all right? And now, I do have on here, adhere this layer to the front of the card, but I wanna hint, you might hold off on doing that at the moment until you decide what you wanna do with ribbon. So this is you can always add this to this card, but I want to show you an idea for ribbon that you might consider. So you just might hang tight 1 second. If you like the idea of running ribbon, right? Because I always love to add ribbon to every card if at all possible, right? That's always a goal of mine. So one of the ways you could add ribbon to this card is by weaving it back and forth behind this mat. So don't get glue happy if you think that might look good for your card. And what do I mean by running ribbon back and forth? You could put a tail here, and then I put like a little bit of like this, and then I bring it down, and then have tails. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but I have a little loop-de-loop, and I only run it across the back one time, so there's only one going down, right? If you normally would do this, you might put a loop like this, and a loop like this, and a loop like this, and you've just went back and forth 3 times here, right? Wasting ribbon. So my just hint for you is if you do want to run your ribbon back and forth, what I do is I take my loose, put tear and tape back here, or double-sided tape, put your tail there, and then bring it up like that, right? You're gonna need to put another piece of tear and tape here, and then you're gonna run it down 1 time, and then make your loopy loop, and then your tail, right? And you're gonna need to put another piece of tear and tape, but I've only done 1 across the back here. Okay, so that's just an option for you guys. So if that's something you think you might want to do, you might just hang tight on this second half of this. So, because here it says adhere this layer to the card front in the center. So, and I say that because on mine, which is right here, I didn't run ribbon back and forth. But on another card, which we did for Painted Christmas and an upcoming class, oh, thanks, Julie. I did run that ribbon with a loopy tail, and then right. Okay, so there you go. The main thing on this one is you could glue these 2 pieces together, your cardstock and your designer or pattern paper, and then hang tight if you just want to see what happens next. Okay, so hi Tabitha Lawson. Oh, Darcy likes the tip too. Okay, so I'm seeing you guys. I saw some thumbs ups and some hearts come through. So if you're at a point where I'm good with going to clue number 5, because this is where it kind of gets like questionable, I guess you could say. Oh man. So because this, and I will share with you something similar to what I did for this so that you guys can kind of envision what I'm doing. So, okay, I'm seeing lots of thumbs ups and hearts. You know, just know from here on out, this is like openness. Like what your card's gonna be like open. All right. Ribbon always looks good. Yes, it does, Gwen. Excuse me. All right. Clue number 5 is your open-ended clue. Okay. So 5. This is where the sky's the limit. You guys, I had said in clue number 1 that you needed to have some scraps. So you've got this awesome layout that somewhat is going to look like this, right? But prettier, right? Because you guys are actually using real paper. I mean, I'm using real paper, but not pretty paper. You want to come up with something for the center of your card. And what I have here is, with the scraps of your white and vanilla in coordinating cardstocks, I should have an S here, you know, because you could have any kind of coordinating cardstocks. You want to create a focal center area that doesn't cover up all the pattern paper, right? Because you've got all of this prettiness going on. And here's my hint. Think about how you can add ribbon to the card, right? I should have had the ribbon clue back there and then adding this conglomerate. So I wanted to share with you, I always do my mystery card is using the promotional sweet product bundle, right? So this coming Thursday, the class is Abigail Rose, right? So these are the cards we're going to be making Thursday night. And I want to pay particular attention to this card right here. So when I say with the scraps of white and vanilla or white or vanilla coordinating cardstocks, I mean, honestly, guys, foils, glitter paper, glimmer paper, anything. The sky is the limit here, you guys. This is where everybody's cards are going to start to look different. Create a focal center area that doesn't cover up the pattern paper, right? So if we pay particular close attention to this card that we're going to be making Thursday night, I want you to see kind of what I did right here. So I took a scrap and I cut myself a little label, a little banner label, and I put a sentiment on it. And because it's Abigail Rose, I wanted to do the stamp and the leaves and this little foil flower thing and some little leaves if you want, okay? So picture this right here. So these loose pieces put on top of this right here, so right there, and I said espresso and crumb cake, and then I found a complimentary designer paper for both of these. And so I've got soft, soothing colors. Hi, Robin Sender. Better late than never is what I always say. And yes, the replay will always be there. And think about the ribbon, you guys. Do you like the ribbon idea of it looping back and forth? That could look cool. Maybe you could add a little cutesy little bow off to the side. Or maybe you put your ribbon coming out the top of your focal images. So this is kind of where I need you guys to get out of your creative box and put on your creative pants, your Stampin' Pants, and figure out like what you could do to put on the front of your card without covering everything up, right? So I had mentioned I put this little label. So I've got, let's take it out of the plastic. So like without giving too much away, but with giving you guys some hints, like I cut a little label and that went down here, and I've got a flower, and I've got some leaves coming out, and I've got a little foliage frilly vellum foil thing up here. Hi, Jeannie Parker. All right. So this is where I'm not sure how long it's going to take you guys to get a little creative with your focal image. You know, and if you did cut your paper, so John Reeder asked, well, what direction is the card? Well, usually the designer paper that is denoted tall and wide, I didn't want to give her the answer because it kind of like the answer was in the clues. If for any reason you cut your designer paper and you cut it going this way, you could easily, you guys, make this card a vertical card. Hi, Gina says, funny, I have die cut flowers and leaves. Yes. Like make a little flower, put a little label. Okay, but you guys might not have flowers or you might not have anything. Tracy, hi, you're late. No worries. You're going to see kind of how the card looks, then you can always go back and watch from the beginning. Like you could, in essence, make your card vertical too. If you envision this card being vertical and your designer paper is a non-directional pattern, you could always do that and put something here. But ultimately, you could even make it go like this too. So ultimately, I like the core and bread and butter meat potatoes of this card is doing the directional diagonal slicing of your designer paper. Hi, Marilyn Giebel, doing the the cutting of your pattern paper to create your triangles. Now, the sky's the limit for you guys. Hi, Jean Benson. Do with this card, like with what you may. Think about where you're going to be able to add embellishments and ribbon. And I guess let's see what there's a couple more clues, you guys, and they're easy clues, which I'll talk through them. So I know I didn't see any thumbs ups or hearts at all, because you guys are probably like, what can we make? What can we make? And what can we do? But I'm going to tell you, like, the next clue kind of brings it together. So let's go on to clue number 6, and we're going to see what we've got here. It's basically layer, add your die cut focal images, additional die cuts, a label, add the ribbon to the pattern paper mat. So ultimately, like, you're going to bring it home by putting everything together on your card. So, like, you got this glued. If you decided to put the ribbon back there, do that before you put this down. If you've got a whole bunch of pieces, again, if you are a beginner and you don't have any die cutting abilities or embossing abilities, like none of this is really embossed, but you could even run this whole mat through the embossing. That would be super cool if it's a subtle embossing folder. But if you're a newer stamper and you don't have a lot of stuff, even stamping a sentiment right in the middle on a piece of like white or vanilla, and this would be super cool just with a sentiment, and you could add a little ribbon to it. Don't overthink it, is my advice. Go with what your first instinct is and just go with the flow. But clue number 6 is bring it all together. Put it all on your card, get it planted on here, and adhere it all, get it on here, and I think you'll be excited when you actually see it all come together. So, like, hi Judy Bobo. Again, you guys, when you see my card, so my card, I will share it with you Thursday. I'm not done with clues yet either, so don't think we're done, but I want to share with you for those that are new, on Thursday I do this Abigail Rose class, and so we'll be making those 4 Abigail Rose cards. I still have kits left over too. I haven't gone through them all. I think I have about 10 or 15 left. So in case you missed out or you think you missed out, just reach out to me. I can always get those kits in the mail to you tomorrow. You might not have them in time for class, but reach out to me if you're interested. So you'll see on Thursday at the end of class, waving to you from downstate Michigan. Woo woo. Looks like a picture frame. Yes, Kathy, it sure does. So at the end of my live on Thursday, though, I'll share with you my card, and I'll also post it in this event so that you can see what I came up with following my measurements and my clues. Okay, so we're going to go on to clue number 7, because that is finally, I think it was Sharon that asked, or Sharon or Shirley at the beginning asked about this white piece of paper. So let's meander. What does the Abigail cards? Oh, I'll show you, Tracy, when I flip the camera down. So clue number 7 is where we're off to. So clue number 7. So you've got one piece of paper left here, you guys. Stamp a sentiment and focal images in coordinating inks on your 5 1/4 by 4 inch inside mat. And then you're going to adhere it to the inside of your card, right? So that just gets glued in there. Now, if you don't like the way you stamp it, you can always flip it over and restamp the other side, right? That's the hint that I have down here. You know, generally there's 2 pieces of paper, so 2 pieces to every side of paper. So Elizabeth's asking about the kits as well. So for Tracy and Elizabeth, I'll just throw these out here really quick. This is one of the cards. And again, it features the Cottage Rose bundle. That's my promotional class this month. So had you purchased this bundle from me by a certain time, I think it was like last week, Thursday, I give you a half a pack of paper. But that doesn't mean that you have to buy this. Some people might not be excited about this. Maybe they have enough flowers in their life. Oh, Jean Benson, yeah, we started early today. We started at 5. So for those that have their own flowers, what you'll do is you'll get a piece of, in this case, vanilla, and you'll stamp some flowers or leaves, but like everything embossed or die cut is for you if it's not a focal image. So your mat here is embossed. You'll get some vanilla paper for stamping this. You'll get a little label and your circles will already be cut for you. The designer paper comes in there. Hi, Laura Sullivan. Okay, so that's one card. So then here's another card. And in this case, you'll get a piece of white paper and you'll need to stamp some sort of a focal image on it. You'll get a label. Your silvers are already die cut for you. And this tag behind here is already cut and embossed. And you get all your designer paper and the brush strokes paper. This one, everybody gets a piece of the designer paper and you'll stamp your sentiment on it. And you'll get some vanilla to stamp a focal image. This split card texture or the split card die is already done for you. And there's some brushstroke pink paper back there. You get all your bows are made for you and you get your little gems in your kit. And then this is the fourth card. And you'll stamp a sentiment and some sort of focal image if you want on the label. I put some flowers. That's already die cut. So Anna die cut all those and she said it was a pain in the butt. That glimmer foil or whatever, the rose gold, is so thick with that detailed die that it was a nightmare. So I want everybody to appreciate that die cut when you get it. So yes, Penny, you got yours in the mail today. Woo, woo, yay. So, and then this one's already embossed for you. So yeah, so that's what's coming up. The class is $18, or if you need it mailed, it's $23 because shipping is $5. If you want to place an order to get this class for free, it's a $45 order using my current host code. And you get the card kits for free then because you're placing an order and ultimately the order stamps from, ships from Stampin' Up! And then my card kits mail from here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. So you got to just always remember to use my current host code. So that's what's Abigail Rose is coming up on Thursday night. So hopefully that bought you guys a lot of time. You have this stamped and you have this glued on to the inside. And without further ado, we're going to go to clue number 8, which is always a favorite. So thanks, Gina. My Abigail. Oh yeah, honey, I got that. Yes, Laura, we're early tonight because I have a birthday that we're celebrating tonight. And we're making dinner for our friends and celebrating a birthday. And dinner starts at 6:30. So as soon as I'm done with my live, you guys, I gotta saute some mushrooms, saute some onions. Tyler's working on grilling right now, and he wanted to make Brussels sprouts. So we're making Brussels sprouts too. Wish me luck. So, all right, clue number 8, you guys. Embellish and Stella to your heart's content. So Laura, you'll have to catch the replay to catch it from the beginning. So you guys, you've got your card glued, adhered all together. Put some embellishments on it. Grab your Stella pen. Give it some glitter. I mean, if it's something where the person might not appreciate the Stella, you could leave it off, but it is controlled glitter. Linda Hall, we over for dinner, yes. I maybe think that's what you meant. That's funny. So Stella is a girl's best friend. It's a glitter pen that we sell through Stampin' Up! It's clear, but it leaves glitter on, so it kind of takes on to whatever color you're putting it over. So embellish Stella to your heart's content. Don't forget to add your ribbon, you guys. Figure out, make me proud. Put some thread or twine on there. Do something. Anything would be nice. And then the last thing for you guys to do, it's not a clue, but what do you do next? Okay, so you've got this beautiful card, and what I want you to do is take a picture of it. So we want you to share your card. Post a photo of the card that you make in the comments in the event for a chance to win a prize. So what does that mean? You need to go, whoa, let's zoom back out. You need to go to Cards by Christine, my Facebook page. And in the events section, so I'm going to show you, in case anybody's not familiar, we're going to go to Facebook. And Sharon, you're asking right now, how do I share? This is what I'm going to show you. I have a post set up and scheduled. Oops, these are chats. Hang on. I need to go to, I did it again. Facebook is hard, I tell you. So let's go to me. Not me, but Cards by Christine. Okay, I have a profile page and I have a business page. So I'm going to show you in my business page. So when you go to events in Cards by Christine, right now, there's a current event. It says it's right now, it's your events mystery card night. I have scheduled a post to go live at like 6:05 maybe. And it's going to be this picture right here. And you just go into the comments. So it's not there right now. Let's see, hang on, discussion, right here. It'll be in the discussion. It'll be above this one. So right now it says clue number 1 is ready. There'll be another one. And you'll just add it there. So what I want to show you is what last month's looked like in case, this is really hard. They have changed Facebook a little. Oh, so I go into so I'm just showing you the past one so you can see what it does look like. So you know, because you're asking how do you share it. So I'm going to go to July's mystery night. Okay. So 1 second while I find July. And then you go to the discussion and you look for, so I always share my card after the next Facebook Live. And you go to this post where it says, we hope you had a great time solving the mystery with us tonight. Show off your beautiful creations here and be inspired by everyone's cards. Cards commented on this thread by Wednesday, July 20th at 11 p.m. Central will be entered to win the prizes. So I've scheduled this exact post to go into the August mystery card night, and you have until Wednesday, August 17th to go into the comments, right, and share your pictures. So Karen was like right on it. Faye put her card in here. Darla put her card in. So this was the mystery card layout from last month. Laura got her card in there. Sue did, right? So you just write a comment and you have to take a picture, and you can either go to your gallery or take a picture. And then, oops, this is on me backwards, ha ha ha. But take a picture of your card like that, right? Take a picture. And then you hit the send button and it basically will upload it, okay? If you already took a picture previously, you could also just grab it from your gallery, okay? So there you go. Again, that will be in the August. So in hosting, for me, it's going to be today, this current one. So she started an hour earlier. She was something to do later. You're right. Donna, yep, you're late because I started at 5 p.m. Central Time. So like right now, I have it happening now. This event was, if you look on, I had it at 5 p.m. Central on Monday, August 15th. And that is, I normally do my lives at 6. You guys, I got a dinner party that we're hosting friends tonight. And I had to promise Tyler I would be done by 6 to help him finish cooking. So I prepped a little bit before the live. So yes, we are a little bit earlier than normal. So, Deborah had another great night. So you guys, what you need to do is get your card finished, and you have until Wednesday night to submit a picture of it. And then what we'll do is go in on Thursday morning and we will grab all the names of everybody who submitted a card and do a drawing, and we'll do a random number generator. So everybody who shares a card, every 20 people, I do a prize. And so I hope you guys really enjoyed this layout. It's not a different kind of a layout if you don't cut the designer paper into that triangle pattern, which is what makes this layout super unique and fun, something you don't always see. And yeah, so I don't know, I might leave it at that, you guys. Thanks, Becky Christensen. We will have fun tonight. So I'm gonna probably wrap it up here. I'll make sure that this link for this video also gets stored in the event. So if you guys, Facebook did make some changes back in April, stupid, dumb changes. Sorry, I'm not always a fan of what they do. And it made it really hard for people to find events. So Christina says she's fussy cutting. Will take a while before she's ready. Oh, I will enjoy dinner. Yeah, Chrissy says cool layout. Thanks so much for all the well wishes for dinner tonight, you guys. I told Tyler he needs to get the thermometer out because my dad taught him you have to get the steak to a certain temperature, and otherwise it gets overdone. And when it's overdone, it's not as good. So, Jamie said it was a great card layout, and Cindy likes the pattern. Whoop, whoop, good job. All right, you guys. So at some point I'll be on tomorrow for Tip Tuesday. I'm going to do a little swap card showcase from my team swap that I had last weekend. I'll show you all their awesome swap cards. and I'll have a good tip for you. I think that's always the plan. It might be a short, sweet tip, but the fun part will be seeing some cool cards. And then I have Abigail Rose on Thursday. And again, if anybody is still looking for those card kits, I have about 10 or 15 left, and I can get them in the mail to you probably tomorrow. And again, that class is free with an order, or it could be paid for, whichever one you want. Kathy, we will see my card at the end of class on Thursday. I always wait and I show it at the end of the class. I always normally do my Facebook Live classes on Thursdays. Mystery card night is usually on Mondays. And so on Thursday, I'll share my card, and I'll also post pictures of my card in the event. They'll be scheduled to go live around 8. So the pictures will be there, and the card will be in my Facebook Live. So, woohoo, you guys, we did it. We kept it to an hour on the dot. So, all right, you guys. So we'll see you tomorrow at some point for Tip Tuesday, and then also Thursday night for class. And Kelly will be live, or tapes. She usually tapes her Technique Thursdays and then launches them, or puts them in the news feed Thursday sometime. So, yay! Okay, you guys like the layout. Okay, I was a little worried that you thought maybe it was a simple, too easy of a layout, but I knew that I was gonna a little trick up my sleeve with the cutting of the designer series paper. So, yes, Julie, enter one and see how it goes. We love seeing all the different cards. And if you guys see cards in there, like them, love them, comment on them, give people positive feedback, because it's a little intimidating to share your cards out there in Facebook. I know that. And so when you guys like and comment and share that the cards are pretty, then it encourages people to share their cards more often. And when we share, that creates inspiration and our creativeness. So yay. All right, you guys, lots of sunshine, love, and hugs to you. And without further ado, we had a great mystery card night. We'll see you next time. Love you. Bye.